All righty. Hello, YouTube fans. Sorry about all that you're watching. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here on my end, but hey, that's all good and resolved. And we are here with you now live for, guess what? This is our 12th one. Yes, the 12th episode of Roll with the Die. You guys, you know what that means? That means it's been 1 year. This is our anniversary of starting this Roll with the Die event, and I'm loving it, and I hope my fellow demonstrators are loving it right along with me. So without further ado, I wish to thank Michelle Hollins, Kathy Jones Irving, and Miss Karen Finley, who have been with me through this whole journey as we change things, we make things work, but either way, we are on this journey together. Today is, like I said, it's the 12th episode. I am Caron Bailey. I'm your independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I'm here with you today to present to you my card that I created with the elements from the Roll with the Die from last month. So before we get that, you know, we always do our admin things right out the way. Any of the products that you see that you like in today's video, all of it will be in the description box. The link to it is there. I was fortunate enough to be able to have my blog post done. So the blog will go live at about 4 p.m. Central Standard Time today. So feel free to check the blog out. All of the measurements will be in the blog post, so you don't need to worry about copying anything or writing anything down. What else did I tell you? So with that said, yeah, the post. I also had enough time. See what happens when you have time, you guys? I also created a tutorial. So there is a link for the tutorial both here and in the blog for how to create this card today. As you're watching, you guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I still am on the hunt. My goal is to reach 300 subscribers by March 15th. That is 3 days away. I am at 125. I need 175 more people to like and subscribe to my channel to meet my goal. And I hope that you will help me by liking, sharing, and commenting. When you share, please come on back. Let me know that you shared. I'm giving away 3 gift sets of greeting cards. This is going to be 4 to 6 cards. I haven't decided yet, but I'm giving away 3 sets of gift sets of cards just for folks that are sharing my videos for today. Okay, so we talked about all of this. I'm going to show you what's coming up next, and I'm going to reiterate that as well. We got something new for me, you guys, is mystery stamping. I am going to host a mystery stamping event in Zoom on the 15th of March. Next week is spring break, so I don't have any classes. So I am free. I am doing mystery stamping on the 15th at 7 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be right Zoom and streamed to YouTube. So take a look. This is the date and the information. The DSP workshop is scheduled for the 17th of March. That is still happening. My March Stamp and Sip class is scheduled for the 19th, which is next Sunday. And of course, Roll of the Die and the April stamping event. So without further ado, you guys, let's get started on the card that we're going to create today. So this is the card, and y'all know I don't ever get my cards done ahead of time. I typically do them. I have an idea in my head and I execute it and I do it on video. But I had the chance, I had to work on this one. And here's the card that we are going to create today. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very simple, but it's just me. It is simple yet elegant how I love to do my cards. Let me share with you the products, the parts and pieces that we're going to use today, the products in the card. And I'm going to embellish that just a little bit for this video, because of course that was very basic. And then we're going to step it up a notch. So featuring today is our Irresistible Blooms stamp set and bundle. This is a bundle. You guys, this bundle is available in the online exclusive section of the store only. You will not find it in any catalog. And so if there, and of course, I think it's all while supplies last. So if you're interested in this bundle, please don't forget to pop on out and go grab it. I did a live unboxing of this already, so I'm not going to go through that. And then I got the sentiments from the Charming Sentiments bundle, and I'll share with you what the elements are that we have to create today. This is in the annual catalog, which expires April 31st, because we have a new catalog going live in May. All right. The other things that we're going to do that I'm going to add to the card is, this is also from the online exclusive, the Basics 3D embossing folders. And I think I'm going to go with this one. I think it's called a crosshatch, I think is what this is called. So I'm going to go with the crosshatch, one of the three. There are three in there. The second one is our spots and dots. And then this one, I tell everyone, this reminds me of like starfish. That's what this reminds me of. So I think I will definitely use this in conjunction with the By the Bay bundle. All right, so let's put this away until we need it. So, and I cheated a little bit. So in your PDF, you will find that I tell you to use the framed florets die, and that will get you the circle die that's in there. That will get you your oval shaped. Now, who was this? Close to My Heart had a template with these already done out of acetate. So I do have this. I will not link anything, but I did get this from Close to My Heart. So what else are we going to need to finish this card today? Well, our card base is a piece of Pear Pizzazz. Oh, let me tell you what the elements are. So the elements for roll of the die were sponging, thank you, monochromatic, subtles, and we had to use ribbon. The subtles that I'm choosing to use, I use all three: Pear Pizzazz, mint macaron, and soft seafoam. I used all the greens, so that stayed in the subtles, and it helped me with the monochromatic. So my card base is Pear Pizzazz, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of cardstock. And in the sample card I did not use the shimmery white, but in the card that I'm going to make for you today, I'm using the shimmery white because I want to have a little extra texture to it. And the shimmery white is cut to 3 3/4 by 5. I have a piece of designer series paper, and this is from the Enjoy the Journey stamp set, designer series paper. And this is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Pear Pizzazz, and this is also cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up stacking it like this, and like that. Okay. And then we have a piece of basic white, regular basic white that's cut at 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of our card. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with this awesome project today. Oh, and I pre-tied my bow because y'all know bows and me we have a lot of challenges. And that came from the braided linen trim. So let's go. Grab my... Don't forget to tell me where you're from. I would love to know where you're watching me from. If this is your first time, let me know this is the first time that you're watching us here. And for Roll of the Die, I would love to know if you're a first timer. And here's another product that I'm going to use. This is from Wendy Vecchi. Oh, and I die cut that already. Wendy Vecchi, and this is going to help me with lining up and making sure that everything stays where it needs to stay. Okay, so I'm staying in the green family for y'all today, y'all. Look at that. I don't even know where this washi tape came from, but it's like perfect. So I'm just taping down my cardstock just to try to prevent any kind of shifting of the cardstock when I get started with my blending. Okay. Then I'm going to lay this out, trying to make sure that I have everything even on all sides as much as possible. And then I'm going to go in with the magnet here to hold that down. And where's the other magnet? I moved the other magnet and I don't know where I moved it to. I tell you, for every time I come in here and I move something that I don't know where I moved it to, it's amazing to me. And I'll find it, of course, eventually. So let me grab my inks, soft Seafoam, mint Macaron, and Pear Pizzazz. Those are the colors that we're using. Okay, and that's the order that I'm going to use them in. Oh, here it is. Now, every time you do this, it is never going to be the same, okay? Because you blend a little differently. How much you blend might be different. And so I'm sharing with you this new thing that's in the Stampin' Up catalog. So that I recently started using, that I love it. This is for the blending brush holder. And you guys, it's absolutely wonderful for when I'm starting to blend. I just put them right back. Things stay where they're supposed to stay, and I'm excited about that. All right. Now, because we're in the green family, we're going to keep everything. We're only going to use one brush. We're going to clean our brush in between each element. So, first element we have was our subtles. Okay. And so with the blending brush, I'm just going to apply color. And this is also called masking. And so I am masking to lay down the color. I'm tapping off the ink so that there's not a whole bunch of ink that goes down at any one time. I get to control how much ink is laid down. Okay. Then I'm going to go to mint Macaron. Now, I don't have to because this is a little bit darker, but I'm going to try to make sure and minimize transfer as much as possible. So mint Macaron is my next color. And I'm going to try to make sure that I overlap because I want the colors to overlap a little bit, to see a little bit of a transition between each of the shades. Now, the other thing that you should know is that technically I'm ink blending, which is kind of why we use sponges before. So while I'm blending, that's technically a little bit of sponging, but I'm going to do a technique with the sponging that you can see later on. Okay, so I am actually going to do some sponging. And then the last color is our Pear Pizzazz. I think we might have to move this guy just a bit. Okay. And again, don't forget to overlap the colors so that they blend and you can see somewhat of a smooth transition between each of the colors. Okay, gonna clean that off. I'm gonna go right back in again because I want to pop that mint macaron just a little bit more. So I'm gonna overlap with the mint macaron again. All right. So now we're done with these colors. I'm gonna put them away so that they get out of the way. All right, and so here we go. Now that we have ink blended all of this, we can remove our mask. We're gonna clean this, but we're gonna remove it, put it away for now. And then we're gonna take our blended panel so we can finish our work. Okay. All right, I'm just trying to make sure I keep things out of the way, y'all, because if you know me, my workspace will go from this to this. All right, so now that we have this, we're getting ready to put our main images down. And so this is the smaller flower from the Irresistible Blooms stamp set. And I'm gonna use, this is VersaFine Clear, and this is called Shady Lane. And I use this instead of black because I want to make sure that I stay monochromatic. Now, why do I love the VersaFine Clear inks, and I love them because they give you ample time. So I could stamp and let things go and then still have time to apply embossing powder and have it adhere to the ink. It's still wet enough. It just takes a little bit of time for it to dry. And the beauty of VersaFine Clear is that it comes in multiple different colors and shades. So if I do need to use them for other projects, I could. So here we go with this. Okay. And now I'm just gonna add some embossing powder, clear, and then I'm gonna heat emboss those flowers. And there's a reason why I'm heat embossing them now. And I'm gonna or double and triple, I think double, just double today, heat emboss each of the flowers. I want the texture to be really, really amplified that you can see it. Now, when I double heat emboss, all that means is that, and by using, all that means is that I heat set it, and then I'll quickly go ahead and add a second layer of heat embossing powder. And when I do sentiments, I sometimes do that 3 times, but for this, I'm only going to do it twice. And you can always start to tell when the powder starts to melt. You'll see that it changes color, and then you'll see a little bit of shine and shimmer on it. So that's the first level. And then I'm going to go back and add it again. And then I'm going to heat emboss the second side. Add my second layer of heat embossing powder. All right, so we've heat embossed and we can put the powder away because we're done with that step. All right, so this is where our sponge comes in, okay? So Stampin' Up used to sell these sponges. We don't sell them anymore, but you can go to Hobby Lobby or any one of the other stores and grab some sponges, okay? Or any kind of sponge is fine. And so what I'm going to do is I run some water in here already. As you know, the Stampin' Up inks are water-based ink. And so when I add the water to it, it will react. Now, let me show you. Do you see on this card where all of that is, the differences versus on this one? That's how we're going to go add a little bit of texture by sponging on that card to create this type of effect. And so all I did was I went in with a wet sponge and I dabbed, dab, dab, just dabbed everywhere. And wherever that water hits is going to react with the water-based ink that's already on there. And that's what when I said to you, every single time you do this, it will be different because it depends on how you dab, how much you dab, how much water is in it. And then I also used on this one shimmery paper versus regular basic white. So I'm gonna, for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna heat set it. Okay. Now, the other thing that I didn't do on that other card that I'm going to do for you today is the embossing. I'm all about adding texture today. Let's put this away. Okay. So now I'm just going to line this up. And you guys, Stampin' Up knows that I don't do anything straight. So they put this little line on here for me to line up my cardstock to try to somewhat make it even. So there we go. And on some of the patterns, it doesn't really matter, but on others, if they're, what's the term that I'm using? If the patterns are directional on the embossing folder, that might have an effect. So I'm bringing in the cut and emboss machine, Mama Boss, I guess I'm calling her. And I'm only going to use, this is a 3D embossing folder. And so if you look at the instructions on the plate, for 3D embossing folders, we only use the base plate, which is number 1, and the embossing plate, which is number 4. Okay. And so here we go. And a tip for you guys is making sure that when you do put, if you are embossing your folders, put the closed edge in first. That kind of helps with any shifting that may happen. All right, here we go. And again, I'm just adding this step because I decided I just wanted a little bit more texture and a little bit more. I wanted to take my card from wow to wow. That's why I did that. All right, here we go. Get these out of the way. Oops. All right, y'all. And here we go. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. Look at that. Look at what a little bit of texture just did to this versus here. Do you see the difference so far? All right, so now what we're gonna do with this one is, before we do anything else, is we've got to add our designer series paper. And when I created the other one, I did that piece like so, but I think I can't decide if I want to do that. Which side do you think I should do? No, I like this one. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with that one. And so, because I've embossed, I need my liquid glue now. Just as a tip from me to you, when you've embossed something to give it texture, I find that using liquid glue is helps to adhere it a little bit better than using regular glue. So that's my tip, is use on embossing folders to go ahead and use liquid adhesive versus tape. Okay. All righty. Now I'm going to add my ribbon. And just so you guys know, I actually used a bow maker to make this because it was just frustrating me that I just can't tie a bow. You would not think that, I mean, you would think that I know how to tie a bow. I tie my shoes all the time, right? I want this to be in the up and down kind of position. So like that. And so this is going to be like this and like that. And so for me to make sure that it stays, what I'd like to do is I will go right in with some adhesive. And this is the Stampin' Seal. And I'll secure it. And then I'll make sure, like on the other side, that it's even and kind of where I want it to be. And I know I'm early, but I may not do a video on the 14th, but I want to say happy anniversary to my brother and my sister-in-law. Their anniversary is upcoming. And of course, I'm late with creating a card for them because that's just kind of how I do. I'm always late. If you are on any of my lists, you'll know that you may oftentimes get your card after whatever your event is. I am just horrible. It's not cutting. I don't know why. Oops. Get that back on there and stuck. All right, so we've got that stuck. It looks high to me. Down, 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 right there. Perfect. And then from here, I'm going to grab, I've already cut my foam adhesive sheet. And I'm just going to add that to the back panel. What do you guys think of the card so far? I'm going to burnish my fold. And then I'm going to add. All right, so let's see. I've done the sponging, the subtles, my ribbon, subtles, ribbon, sponging. I have thank you and monochromatic. Okay, everything is in the same family of green. Yesterday I went ahead and I had pre-stamped and die cut my thank yous, because it's supposed to be thank you, from the Charming Sentiments bundle. And before I put it together, I'm going to grab and this is Old Olive, I believe, staying again. This is a dark Old Olive, staying again to make it monochromatic. And I'm going to add color just to the edges of the die cut. That way you can't see any white when if you happen to angle the card in any different way or the other, you won't see any white. Okay. I'm excited to see what the die will roll for next month. Our roll of the die sessions, our roll of the die YouTube blog hop is open to any Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You need to let me know that you're interested in participating. And I have a group on Facebook that I create the event where I list all of the requirements so that you'll see them there. You don't have to wonder. We post our, okay, let me add some dimensionals. I'm going to cut this one. Everything gets used, y'all. Okay. Make sure, use the grid line to make sure it's lined up. Then I'm going to add my sentiment, thank you. And I'm using the gems from the Iridescent Pastel Gems set. And I'm going to add them okay. One here, one here. And I'm gonna add a small one. Where did I go this time? I went up in that corner, and I'm trying to make sure it's balanced, you guys. So just in case you're wondering how I'm placing my gems, I'm trying to make sure it's balanced. So you see on this side, you have the bowl. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't make everything off balance, which is why I'm gonna put the gem on this side to kind of balance things out just a little bit more. All right, so that's the outside of our card, you guys. And I think we've got all of the elements, except let me finish my inside. And the inside piece is cut at 4 and 5 by 5 1/4. And I am going to use this for the inside. I haven't cut it yet. So that's what I'm going to do. Make sure it lines up. Like that. Let it dry. I just wiped off some of the excess. And then I'm just going to go trim this off. Now, the other tip I'm going to give you guys is that sometimes it's best to cut your strips a little bit longer than the actual. It's easier to trim than it is to add extra at the end of the day. So that's my tip for you, is cut it a little bit longer and then trim away what you don't need. Okay. Then we're going to put this on the inside. And last, oh, I missed a step, y'all. I did. I was supposed to put this on this piece. I missed a step. See, that's what happened. But it works anyway, because I cut everything in proportion. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, because we don't send naked envelopes, is I'm just going to go ahead and prepare my envelope. Like that. Make sure this goes right up to the fold. Like that. Burnish the adhesive in. Like that. You can burnish with your finger. You can burnish with a tool. And then we're going to trim off the excess. All right, guys, we're almost done with this card. Thank you for watching us today, but we have one more thing that we have to share with you. Don't forget to check out my fellow demonstrators who hopped with me on this YouTube hop, Miss Michelle Hollings and Miss Karen Finley. Links to both of their YouTube channels and the today's cards in particular is in my description box, so please go ahead and make sure you check that out. Don't forget to leave a comment for them, you guys. We really do appreciate when our viewers leave comments for us to let us know what they think of our projects. And you know, it just gives us a little bit of a morale boost. So please take a moment, if you can, pop over on their sites. Excuse me. And leave a comment and let them know how much you appreciate their card. All right. So there we have it, you guys. Today's card that meets all of the elements of the roll of the die. We have, again, they were monochromatic, subtles, sponging, ribbon, and the sentiment had to be thank you. All right, I'm gonna leave these in frame for just a little bit because I gotta go grab my dies because we need to know what we're working with for next month. So these are the dies that we got from, you see what they were from? These are the dies that we got from, I got from Tamra at Tada Moments on Etsy. I don't know if her shop's open. I think she took a little bit of time off. I don't know if she's back. But these are the dies, and at the end of every video, we roll the die. And that lets us know what we have to prepare for next month. So if you are a demonstrator and you're watching and you're wanting to participate, this might be a little bit important for you. All right, so here we go. Neutrals. Oh, clean and simple. Trying to see something, make sure it's something that we haven't done in a very long time. Ooh, texture. And there's so many ways. Have we done texture before? Got to have a little bit of coloring next time. And congratulations. So for next month, when you join us here on Roll of the Die, each of the demonstrators that are participating will present you a card that's clean and simple in the neutrals tone, a little bit of coloring, a little bit of texture, and has to be congratulatory card. You guys, thanks for joining me today. This is Caron again, your Austin, Texas Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you guys, happy stamping.